Hello and welcome to Grossly Competent, the learning, development, and adulting podcast that does not claim to be pretty. No, but will happily pretend to be slightly competent. I am your host, Steve Council, joined by my co-host, whose
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Dude, that's so mean. I can't believe you just said that.
whose looks can only be described by sound effects, Mr. Patrick Aylshire. Wow, at least I said my name right this week. I did that. I win. What prize do I get?
Well, thank you, good sir. Steve, you have the rare ability to sound both over-prepared and underqualified at the exact same time.
Yeah. Yeah, you're correct. And you may have noticed that I even threw in like the AI saying my name, like Steve Council, right? Like I did that intentionally so I wouldn't screw up saying my own name. But what I do is I can't pronounce the word looks. So that's nice. That's great. Yeah, welcome, folks. Strap in. Yeah, this is going to be those kind of days. Yeah. We have a lot of things going on this week. Patrick and I chatted, and we came to the conclusion that our topic is long overdue. But before we get into it, Mr. Patrick, our listeners demand to know, who is our sponsor of the week?
Get ready for this one. Today's episode is brought to you by Suddenly It's Sunday Night. You had plans. You had ambition. Now you're standing in your kitchen eating shredded cheese over the sink while mentally preparing for emails. Suddenly it's Sunday night. Time moves fast when you're avoiding yourself.
Oh, that one kind of cuts. Like that's I feel like this is a bit of an existential crisis sponsor. Like, wow.
Have I eaten shredded cheese over the sink? Don't judge me. How is the weekend over already? It just started.
Oh, man. Well, thank you. Suddenly it's Sunday night. Your check is in the mail. We appreciate it. There's a name for that. It's like the Sunday Scaries or Sunday Night Scaries, right? Something
that was a thing. That was a thing when I was teaching. That's like legit for when you essentially dread waking up the next day. And I may have shared that on here. I don't get those anymore because I do enjoy my job. Now I'm not going to be one of the influencers you see, or those people that are like, oh my God, I love Monday mornings, and I love that. The fact is, when I go to bed on Sunday, it's like, oh, that was a great weekend. Yeah. Now I gotta work the next day, but that's just what I do, so I can. Yeah. But Sunday scaries were a thing, so I enjoy my shredded cheese over the sink now.
You know what that is, and you deserve that. You deserve. You deserve to eat all the Sargento you want over the sink. I actually worked with a very, very lovely young lady whose father worked at Sargento. So every now and then she would bring like bags of shredded cheese to work and was like, here, just help yourself. Like, oh, okay. It's the first time I tried the Chipotle flavor of Sargento. And it was pretty great. I'm not going to lie to you.
But now, were you, sorry to cut you off, were you passing around the cheese like it was a bag of chips? Like, oh, help yourself. And people were...
No, not like that. No, but she would bring it in like these like large bags. And I was like, yeah, just help yourself. But which was just a lovely thing. It was very sweet. So Victoria, if you're listening, don't think I've forgotten about you. That was wonderful that you did that. That was very sweet. I definitely sympathize, though, man, with the Sunday scaries. I've certainly had positions in my past where that's a thing. So I sympathize. Folks out there, if you get those, that is your body's way of telling you that something is drastically wrong and it needs to be fixed. So don't put that stuff off, man.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah. I can't help but notice that you were talking about some some influencer action maybe. Did I catch that little whiff?
You did, yes.
Dude, okay. I have to get this off my chest. If you
I know where this is going. Most likely.
Folks, if you have been a listener for a while, you know that I have a seething hatred with the temperature of 1,000 suns towards BS inauthentic LinkedIn influencers. And you know exactly who I'm talking about. And I feel like, I don't know if it's like spring, so they're like, ooh, time for me to just start erupting out of the ground. But they have been, I feel like, coming out in the droves. Am I the only one, or have you noticed this?
Steve, first off, I have to say, I love when you get amped up about LinkedIn and LinkedIn influencers. It's not only that your hatred is the temperature of 1,000 suns, it's 1,000 suns during a solar eclipse. It's even worse.
Well, the nice thing is I know you can see me during that solar eclipse.
Good one.
Fade away.
Got
Fade
it.
away.
Step back 3. Nice work.
Jeez. Anyway, I'm sorry. I interrupted
For a
you, man.
while, it did feel like the LinkedIn gods must have been listening to our podcast, because I felt that for a while, there are a few months, we'll say there was a bit of a reprieve. However, lately, I agree, they've been back with a full kick to the crotch.
Yeah. I could not agree with you more. Like, within, I don't know, I would say probably the last month, I have seen this eruption take place. But I came across a couple of folks that are fighting the good fight. And I'm happy to report that they are using some terminology that I thought was hilarious, and I wanted to share it with everybody. For example, there was a specific post that kind of launched me into this tirade of like, oh my God, I sympathize. So any of you that have listened to previous episodes know how much I hate when somebody will request to be a connection. And you're like, oh, I can see like you have similar background. Somebody that's like, yeah, I love doing this. People that have connected with me and you share a valid, real interest in me, I will talk to you. I will give you advice. I'll share best practice. I'll do all that stuff. I have no problem. I'm an open book. What I despise is when somebody uses that as an in, like, haha, time for me to do my sales pitch. So somebody posted a meme, and I'll see if we can't like put this in the show notes or something like that. It is a meme that the text is exclusively just says, like asterisk, accept connection request, and asterisk. And it's a picture of like Oprah Winfrey holding her head, and it's surrounded by all of these little phrases like, do you have 15 minutes? Here's my Calendly link. Hey, first name. And it's like written in brackets, like they didn't even take the time. Or like my company page, or B2B SaaS. I'm like, oh my, like, so that resonated with me. And one of the phrases that was used is, these are what are called pitch slaps, as in like with a P.
Folks, yes, with a P.
Yeah. So Apple Music, do not give us the E. Don't give us the naughty E. Pitch slap. As the Prodigy would have said, change my picture, slap my pitch up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, millennials. You're welcome. But I saw that and I went, oh, hell yeah. I can't remember. Did I share that one with you, Patrick? Did you see that one? Or I can't
I have not, no.
Oh my God. Yeah, I love this.
That sounds really, really funny. So
yeah, a pitch slap. I was like, oh, you're awesome.
I like when you mentioned the not only the hey first name bracket, but also the here's my Calendly link. You want to let's set up some time to chat. I'm not interested in whatever you're trying to sell me. Okay.
Mm.
Leave me alone. I always love when people try to sell me on something on LinkedIn. And yes, I said sell me on something, not necessarily sell me something. Whether that's, like whether that's some bullshit or some random program they're trying to peddle.
Yeah. Here's looking at you, Knowledge City.
Oh, yeah, they are never going to be.
God. I just recently, I think about a week ago, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, I had another lurker from them and they tried to connect with me. I was like, guess who's getting reported as harassment? Guess who's getting that one?
Yeah, I haven't had to report anyone in months, so it's.
Ooh, yeah. That's how I noticed. Like that was part of my calling of, wait, they're coming back like in force. You're right. I think there was a peaceful moment where I'm assuming the LinkedIn algorithm was like, all right, guys, maybe pump the brakes on these folks. Clearly not. Yeah, that ship has sailed. But dude, the pitch slap I loved, but I think I might need to steal this. Somebody in the comments on that specific post made a mention. So if you're not familiar, listeners out there, if you're not familiar with LinkedIn and like what your profile looks like and whatnot, so you have your first, like you have a picture of you, you have your first, last name, whatever, and then you have like not a byline, but you have an opportunity to kind of expound a bit more on who you are as a professional, because it's the quote unquote professionals network, right? Which I'm starting to see less and less. But like, for example, me, Steve Counsel, the learning and development guy and also podcast guy, that's what I have as my, not verbatim, but it's something along the lines of like learning and development strategist, nerd enthusiast, I think I have on there because I'm quite dorky. And then something about like podcast host of Grossly Competent, something like that, right?
And a lot of people, if they don't have something they want to share like that, that's where they put their current job title.
Yep, absolutely.
So that's another space for that as well. But you're right. It is like we'll say 50 character area or so where you can kind of, again, describe yourself in minimum amount of words.
Yeah. And some people have fun with it. Some are just like Patrick said, where it's just very nuts and bolts. I am this. Okay, yeah, cool. So somebody in the comments of this specific post circled, like they took a screenshot of their profile and then circled, and it says, "Pitches get stitches." And I just love that.
That's fantastic.
I was like, that is amazing. And I don't think I have agreed with something more in my life. Pitches do get stitches.
So for someone, Steve, that doesn't understand what is she trying to say?
So apparently you haven't been a snitch, because otherwise you'd get some stitches.
So essentially, don't be that person that reaches out to me to pitch your.
Oh, were you actually being sincere?
Or were you just screwing with me? In case people didn't know.
Oh, okay. So okay. That's totally fair, man. Okay. I thought you were screwing with me. Pitches get stitches is a play on the phrase of snitches get stitches, where if you snitch on somebody, you're going to get beat up. So, maybe some younger folks are not familiar with that phrasing, but I would assume that some of our millennial and older are very familiar with that phrasing. So, you know what? Thank you for being all inclusive, man. I did not think to do that. So good on you, man.
I do think that is very creative, though. I do approve.
Yeah, right.
And one of my favorite posts appeared earlier this week as well. When you saw that one, I saw one from a newish connection. I'm going to call him out by name, Scott Morfitt, who his little area in his profile, little like about tagline areas, says he is a storyteller that connects with creators and decision makers. He posted what I would consider a sweet ass picture from his hike in Lutsen, Minnesota. And he captioned it with, "It was in this moment on a hike in Lutsen, Minnesota, that I thought about something related to professional life in order to make this LinkedIn post. So his post again looks like he was hiking somewhere, beautiful scenery. It looks like some sort of lake or pond in the background, some nice trees, like very cool picture.
Yeah.
And I love that post. What he stated, it seemed very tongue in cheek. And as a matter of fact, both you and I commented on his post, because I think in LinkedIn, again, if you're not familiar with how they're like, essentially their main page works, is that you usually will get updates about if someone that you follow likes something, or they commented on something, or someone that you follow post something. So that was where I had commented on Scott's post, and then Steve saw it, and so then he commented on it.
I have to admit, I was not 100% sure if Mr. Scott was joking. So you said something along the lines of like in retort to Scott, right?
I said,
Scott,
yes.
Yeah.
I said to his whole thing of when he said, it was in this moment I thought about something related to professional life in order to make this LinkedIn post. And I responded, God, I hope not, unless it was how this view reminded you of B2B sales and how to make the most of your days.
And then I, like an ass, decide to go even further. Like, Patrick, you see that tree over there in the distance playing wistfully in the breeze? Just like that tree, businesses need to learn to adapt to the cooling breeze of consumer sales and marketing. And those clouds, well, those are just clouds, but we can learn a lot from their patterns when we apply it. And like, I just kept going. I was like, yeah, because the sad thing is that's on par with how utterly cringe and ridiculous some of these posts are. So if any of you are out there listening and you have the gall or the notion to go like, boy, I was walking through the woods and I stumbled on some squirrels and they really got me. Just stop it, delete the entire post and reflect on every decision that brought you to that point. My God, it's just awful, man. Like, it's so frustrating because it's so not genuine, dude. Like, it's not. Come on.
And it's not. This is not, it's not the same as sitting there, Steve, if you're watching your kids maybe at a sporting event or whatever, and you're like, wow, this is so cool. Like this, they're doing their thing and they're loving it. Okay. You sit there and you have that thought and you maybe talk to your family, your friends about it.
Yes.
You don't jump on your computer and say, I was watching my daughter run around on the soccer field today and she tripped on the blade of grass and it reminded me of how precious and fragile grass is.
Yes.
You can have those moments. I mean, I'm childless, but I walk my dog and I see sometimes she's like got this stupid grin on her face. I'm like, oh, she's probably either so relieved to go outside or because she has to go, or the fact it's such a nice day. And, I kind of look at her and I just laugh to myself. I don't immediately have to go back to my apartment, pull out my phone and make some novel about it.
Well, yeah, and I think you're right. Like, and I think that's really, for me personally, in a way, that's the crux of it all. They're stretching so hard to see these analogies that really aren't there. Like, that's what I mean by it just being so inauthentic. It's just not genuine. Now, I think an example that could go against that grain is, let's just say, for example, my kids have a lemonade stand. Okay, they do a lemonade stand. And after they put in a whole day's worth of work, they end up with either like a lot of, good amount of money, or they don't end up with anything. Like they worked really hard and didn't earn anything. That's a real lesson. Now, am I going to go on to a professionals network where there's CEOs, there's presidents of organizations that have access to this? Like, it's not just, whatever, middle management, if you will. Like, everybody has access to this. Are they really learning something from that? Like, are they going like, my God, this Steve Council and his children, they worked so hard and boy, they really learned a lesson. No, they're not. That's so dumb. You know what that person's thinking is, I don't care. Move on.
Lemonade is stupid.
Yeah. Those kids deserved it. Like, if they didn't use...
They should have been charging $5 for a cup.
yeah, exactly. They should have been using on what the hell is that? The Amazon service, the AWS or whatever.
Oh, right, yeah.
They should have been using UPS shipping for their dummies. It's like they're 7 and 10. You're welcome. Like, my God. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox, man. But you get it, and I have a feeling that our listeners that have at least been listening for more than 5 minutes are on the same page as us. It's so hard to take that stuff seriously, and it just clutters. It's just clutter. Get it out of there. I don't know. Anyway, and I suppose what I want to talk about today is in relation to my LinkedIn rant and BS thought leadership, and the dog barked at me, and this is what taught me about B2B sales. And I think the truth is that those individuals have nothing more on anybody else than the fact that they have Wi-Fi access and Chat GPT to help them just churn out some BS. But, and this is interesting because it kind of came up multiple times throughout this week, like through different presentations I've heard or conversations with people. And it really brought to light that there is a growing sense, and just kind of forgive my terms, and I'll try to refine them a little bit, but there's this growing sense of misplaced narcissism, I feel like, in workplaces. And I'll do my best to try to explain where I'm coming from. I think the idea that personal branding and having to demonstrate how fantastic you are at all times, so those thought leaders, right? Like, is genuinely overtaking professionalism. And I hope that makes sense, like where my brain's kind of going with it. And I'll do my best to kind of walk you through my thought process as we continue on here. But just knowing that, like, just based off of what I just said there, I'm curious, and I ran this by you earlier, but I didn't actually have you like give me your full context. What do you think of that? Like, do you think it's like an actual societal shift? Am I reading into it and I'm letting LinkedIn influencers just piss me off to a level I shouldn't? Like, what is happening? What are your thoughts, man? I'll shut up.
Do you realize how many professional influencers there are now?
Yes.
It's just so many, and anyone and everyone can be a thought leader and market themselves to be the best at their craft.
Yeah.
But I fully admit, Steve, it's hard to sift through the bullshit at times because I don't always know who is being completely genuine.
Yeah.
There's so much of it. And also ads. There's way too many ads. I am not interested in whatever you're trying to sell me. And also, why do I have so many LinkedIn connections? Holy hell. Sorry, this got completely sidetracked, but there's just all this stuff that when I think of LinkedIn and influencers, there's so much. It's hard to feel that true, genuine connection. So kind of like you're talking about, of like having to completely personally brand yourself, or you want to be a thought leader because you have these really deep thoughts that you think might strike a chord with someone. I think it's too much.
Yes. That's an excellent way of putting it. And I think you honestly fulfilled the narrative way better than I did. Like, and I know that term gets tossed around a lot, this idea of narcissism, right? Like, oh, they're narcissists. So like, I feel like it is thrown around like a football. Like so I have to admit, I am currently in the throes of reading a book called Children of the Self-Absorbed. And it talks about how every single adult, there's a section in there where it talks about every adult, we all have bits of narcissism in us. And it's really not necessarily a bad thing. There's good, as they kind of label it, good narcissism, and there's bad narcissism. It's kind of like a pendulum in a way, right? having some narcissism is what gives adults a sense of competition or an ability to push forward and like persevere because they feel like they have the ability to do so and perhaps to do better. Like when you apply for a job, you're doing so with a little bit of narcissism, right? Like because you feel like you're the best candidate. And that's not a bad thing. That's a completely acceptable thing. When you use that narcissism in a healthy way, that's acceptable. It's societally acceptable. But when you use it as a tool to just like self-aggrandize or like it's benefiting only you at the expense of others, that's when it's negative. Like, so to your credit, Patrick, when you said this thing of like, you can't suss out what is genuine and what is not because there's so much noise. There's so much garbage out there. I would argue that is the negative narcissism pushing the good narcissism out. Like, and I know that probably sounds weird to some of you out there for like good narcissism. Like I've never heard that in any positive light in my life. But if you really look at it as kind of this, like a zero sum game, if you will, like a 0 to 100 kind of a thing, it does make more sense. It's on a frequency.
Sure.
So I don't know.
I would definitely agree that there are plenty of narcissists out there.
Yeah.
And maybe if I haven't read that book or heard of it,
yeah,
maybe I'll get a different mindset. Before, just on my take at the moment, just thinking about this now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I love the idea of saying that we each have it in that sense of narcissism, because I do relate that to being a negative term, and I don't know if it was narcissist. I would say that because what narcissism is, again, it reminds me of super annoying people who bring their arrogance either to the workplace or in their personal lives.
Yeah.
But I like the term being self-assured of yourself. You have that confidence or aplomb, being very sure of what you are saying, what you believe, that having that self-efficacy essentially.
Yes.
So
and I think
that's just another way to look at it.
Yes. And I think that's extremely acceptable. Like if that term narcissism scares you or it doesn't feel comfortable, then fine. I think having that, we're on the same page. Like what you're referencing as that self-assurance is really just you telling yourself that you're the best person for this specific role or this function, or you can do this in only a way that you can. That's not to say that you don't think others are capable, but in the moment, sure, I can certainly do that. That's no problem. But I do like where you're going with that. I don't want to defeat your point because I think it's extremely valid.
Do you think then that, I don't want to use the word majority, but that a good amount of people, when they come off a little self-absorbed or when they are trying to be those thought leaders, like, do you think there's good intention behind it, or that they're so wrapped up in their little world that...
Yeah, that's an excellent question. And I know I instantly retorted with no, but I think that's really unfair of me. So I'm throwing every single one of these people into a bucket, and that's not fair. But I will say this. I think their intent originally may have started pure, but then it got overtaken. Like the kind of dopamine hits, if you will, like, wow, I this many people look at this post. And like, I think then it's no longer about your message. It's about how many people you can get to prescribe to your thought process. And I do that specific case, to me anyway, feels negative. That is, it's no longer a altruistic message. You're trying to, I hate to say it in this way, but you're duping people. Like you're kind of grifting, where that doesn't feel genuine. Because isn't that really the crux of what grifting is that you're doing something to dupe someone. You're a snake oil salesman. Like, yeah, I can totally fix that for you. Just buy this bridge I have over here. Wink. Like, that's what you're doing. And I do find it really interesting. I said earlier that I've kind of heard this a couple of times, and I firmly believe that sometimes the universe just has a way of saying, hey, buddy, pay attention. And the fact that I've heard this at a minimum twice that I can recall. I heard it once last week during Disrupt HR with Dr. Tekla B. Ross when she covered the new smoke break and the addiction of social media and our phones, which interestingly, I want to make sure I point this out. She is in fact a doctor, Tekla B. Ross, because she has a background in addiction. Like she was talking to me about that. I thought that was fascinating. Mm-hmm. So it gives her even more credit. But then the other thing I heard this in was during a mental health event that I was at just yesterday. And the exact same thing came up on how we're replacing social norms with screen norms. And I felt like these two things really coincided, especially with this blooming of these linked influencers and whatnot. I was like, oh my God, I need to talk about this because I can't be the only one that's seeing this, right? Like, it's crazy. And I'll wrap up here really quickly. I think it's some of that addiction of those wants to have the likes and the comments and whatnot is all about this willingness or this perceived need to be better, faster, stronger, smarter than you really may be, especially when it comes to the workplace. Like, you're trying to pull the wool over the professional eyes. I don't know. Yeah.
Hey, Uggos. Patrick and I constantly talk about our own mishaps and pains and really just about anything about our adulting lives and workplace. But we'd love to hear your questions for us. So what have you always wanted to ask Patrick and I, but just haven't done yet?
To do this, we'll need you to reach out to us. And you can do so by going to our Instagram @grosslycompetent or send us an email, grosslycompetent@gmail.com. We'll pick through and read off our favorites in an upcoming episode. I think you're on to something there. And with going back to our discussion last week, I think Tekla's message was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I've already preached about this enough on here, but as far as just the whole focus thing about, the new smoke break, it's true. And being someone, and again, I'm not an expert whatsoever, but just being new to the idea of this and having put this into practice of being able to step away from my phone, not having those notifications, not having as many apps. I think for myself, done a fairly good job of eliminating that phone addiction technology, like not relying on it so much. Is it perfect? No, I still have some of the apps that I use on my phone, couple social media. And that's partly is because I run a small business and they purposely make the apps easier to use than the web versions. Because that's because they want you on your phone. And
absolutely
so
right.
I do keep those, but I don't have my notifications on. I am very direct on when I'm opening my phone and doing all that. But that's aside from that.
Yeah.
I do think overall that there's too much reliance on technology, not only in our personal lives, but in the workplace. Mental health is affected. Our focus is affected, as I've talked about before. Yeah. Our posture is even affected. I mean, chiropractors are having field days with these people that literally there's actual thing they call it, and I'm gonna screw this up, but it's like cell phone neck or something like that, because people with the way you're looking down at, And
I'm going to look that up. That's
yes,
wild.
yeah.
Really?
It's a thing that I have heard about because of just the people hunching over and looking down at their phones. It's pretty wild. Now, Steve, this isn't a complete knock on.
Hold on.
Yeah, please.
Sorry. I just looked it up. You're right. Cell phone neck or tech neck.
Tech neck. That's the thing I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Is a painful, often chronic strain injury caused by prolonged downward tilting of the head to look at mobile devices.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
It puts up to 60 pounds of pressure on the spine, resulting in neck pain, stiffness, and headaches. Holy hell. No way. I'm sorry. You said that. I was like, no way. I got to look this up.
Yeah.
That's great. I'll put that in the show notes. That's wow. I'm so sorry. Please continue. I want to hear more.
It's not a complete knock on technology because hell, I mean, TV's been around for 70 some years, right? And we're still okay with that. It's just that these little pocket devices that lead to the doom scrolling, the constant need to be quote unquote on. And that not I mean just being the device being on, but as you were relating to having to be on to be that snake oil salesman or to be always getting that dopamine hit of the likes, the comments, even if you're saying something that's controversial, that's going to give you even more of a little hit if you know that it's attracting attention.
It's so well put about the on, right? Like there are individuals, and I bet anybody listening can probably pinpoint the folks they work with, and they can point out like that is one, like this person's one. This, like, yes, it is this constant need for self-fulfillment through others.
Yeah.
Like, and it's weird. It's like they don't want to spend the time honing their craft, so they try to get people to buy in that they know more than they do. And like, I you know what? I'm going to throw this out there. Boomers, you had it right. Like, you got to sometimes put in your licks. Like, you need to build experience, especially when we're talking professionally. I can't really speak into the personal side of things, but professionally speaking, you really do need to sometimes struggle and see things through in order to really garner a true understanding of things. And that comes with time, and that's it. Like, it's just time. Experience is with time. And through that, you gain skills and strength. And that's not to say that you can't get those things like skills and strength through education, classes. You certainly can. But Patrick, I think you're going to agree with me on this, but I'd love to hear your opinion otherwise. The classroom, as in like a college classroom, is very different than the professional world. Very different.
Very different. Yeah.
Like, you are talking apples, oranges comparison. And one of the things that came up yesterday in the mental health seminar that I went to is they talked about the Dunning-Kruger effect. And I've heard this before. Are you familiar?
I've heard the name.
Okay.
Yeah. I couldn't give you a response of what it is, but
so it really, and if anybody thinks I'm making fun, I'm not. So I'm going to read it verbatim from Wikipedia, and that is, the Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias where individuals with low knowledge or competence in a domain overestimate their own expertise, often failing to recognize their incompetence. So if it helps anybody out there, this is Uncle Rico from the Napoleon Dynamite.
God.
Like, I could throw a pixie in a quarter mile. No, you can't. No, you can't, man. But we all know these people. They overestimate their own expertise. And as a matter of fact, yesterday, when this was introduced, there was a poll, I think it was through Gallup, that was done on drivers across the entirety of the United States to rate, like, scale of 1 to 10. How good of a driver are you? Did you know that 90% of the drivers in the U.S. are in the 50 plus percentile?
Oh, very
which
interesting.
is impossible. Like, no, that is. So if you have that friend that's like, I'm an excellent driver, and you're like, no, you're not. No, you're not. That is the Dunning-Kruger in effect, folks. So if you want an idea of like how to understand it a bit more, that's a great way to just kind of self-apply that. I bring this up, and I will stop shortly here. I bring this up because I feel like it's this overestimation of expertise that's driving these linked influencers. I really sincerely believe that. And I'm not trying to say that they're stupid or that they don't know anything, but I think they're trying to make up for a lack of expertise or competence through manipulating people into thinking they have more than they actually do. So they are recognized as such.
Is that why on LinkedIn when they the memes that they come up with and all that of like you took some certification or whatever and then they like just completely make it sound so tremendous? There's
yes.
I'm drawing a blank on like an example of one right now, but there's so many. Like I took I passed a typing class and it was like executed the keyboard with such fine, whatever, like just settle down here.
Yes. Yeah. It's the how do I bloat my resume?
Yes. Yeah. It's interesting to note about that Dunning-Kruger effect that this occurs because they lack the metacognitive ability to recognize their own incompetence. I think that's hilarious. Often leading to that unwarranted overconfidence.
Yeah.
Sadly, there are way too many people like this. I won't name names or groups of people, but there are. But I would like to know, Steve, how do we build this up at the workplace? How do you get not encouraging this, but how do you get people to stop trying to gloat, to trying to be more confident so they can feel better about their work?
So I'm going to sound like a broken record, and folks out there, clearly I don't know the answer. Like I wish I did, but I really think there is something to authenticity and being genuine. And people have probably heard me say that so many times. They're like, oh my God, that's your catchphrase. But I genuinely believe that. I wholeheartedly believe that if you can just own your skill set, the things you're good at, the things you want to improve, just be authentic about those things. Be real, be you. That's the way to tackle it. And I think just having the space available in the professional atmosphere to say, I don't know this. How can I learn this? Because folks, everybody that's listening right now, you yourself or the individuals that you surround yourself with, at one point in time, you had to start from scratch. And so did they. Your most accomplished CEOs, your great, amazing public speakers, they all had to start somewhere and they all had to learn somewhere. And over time, yes, they built skills and they failed and they pick themselves back up and they try new things, but they're constantly refining themselves. Something I've personally noticed, and I'm curious if you have also, Patrick, that in our profession, because we are learning and development, right? Like we're all about learning. We're all about that growth. The people that I interact with, that I network with, that I talk to at conferences or group functions, the people that are the best at something are the ones that rarely speak up about it. Meaning, like, they're not the ones that are pointing fingers at themselves, being like, I'm the only one that knows this answer. They're almost always humble about it. Like, well, this has worked for me. And I could see it working for you too. Like there's this humility to it, but they're authentic and they're sincere. You can tell they're being those things.
That's I think strong emotional intelligence right there is having that humility, whether it's culturally or not, having that confidence without having
Yes.
to get up there and say, oh, I've done this, and run down their laundry list of resume accomplishments.
Yeah.
And I think, though, to go off what you were saying, though, I think it starts with having self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about, yes, the authenticity, but I think that has to start with people learning to recognize their own limitations.
Yes.
And be comfortable
Excellent
with
point.
the reality that they may not know everything there is to know about a particular subject or a job task. Authenticity is only going to start to show itself if there's something or someone to model that after. So, for example, my workplace, we do plug authenticity all the time. It's always you can be your authentic self here. And we're a huge, huge organization. I typically will tell people that same phrase, but I will say what you're comfortable with. We want you to be your fully authentic selves, but let's say you only want to be 90% or 80% here. Have that confidence to be able to bring yourself to work like that.
Yes.
That goes with admitting mistakes, asking questions, saying, I'm not sure what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Rather than just saying, oh, I'll figure it out later, or
oh my God, yes,
guessing, right? I mean, think about it. Think about an interview. If we're in an interview and you ask me a question about a job task and I don't know what that acronym was, or I don't know how you, rather than just spouting off some BS, I would say, I apologize. Could you explain that a little further? I don't quite understand your question.
Yeah.
Maybe then you can rephrase, and you might be thinking, oh my gosh, I just totally used some jargon that of course he won't.
You're absolutely right.
No, he doesn't work here. So you help explain it a little bit more. So having that self-awareness, again, going back to that point of not having to be perfect. Workplaces need to be a safe space to make those mistakes, to learn on the job. And going back to what we were talking about earlier, not having a bunch of individuals being narcissistic or micromanagers that make people feel bad or have to that someone's always looking over their shoulder.
Yeah. And really, what is a micromanager more than somebody that just doesn't feel confident in their own skills?
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, sincerely, that is the hallmark of a micromanager. They feel like they don't have the control, so they exert their own form of control over everybody else.
So true.
And I've worked for micromanagers. It's how I know. And it's frustrating. Like it's genuinely frustrating. Like, why do you have me in this role if you don't trust me to do it? Trust me to do it. Like, just step away. Right. I really think you hit on a very important aspect to this that I did not touch on. So thank you. And that is this idea of authenticity, of course, but the ability to admit when you do or you do not know something. I can't express this enough. When I would teach field trainers or like sales trainers, when I would work with these individuals, the first question I would ask them if they were with a new hire, the first question I would ask that trainer is, did they ask questions? And if they said no, to me, that's a red flag. Like, they are either not paying attention, or they don't care, or they don't feel like they can be wrong. And that's scary, because everybody, especially when you're starting a brand new job, everybody should have questions. When I would get field trainers to come back, and I would ask the same question, did they ask questions? And they were like, oh my gosh. Like all of them, I knew, as funny as it sounds, I'm like, oh, they're a good one. And I kid you not, I had a proven track record of these people excelling wildly. Like, the more questions you asked was in direct correlation to your success on the job. It was bonkers. Like, I had graphs and like data to back that up so hard, because they were themselves. They were genuine. They knew what they knew. They knew what they didn't know. And sometimes what would happen is they would ask these questions and then come to the realization of, actually, this job's not for me. Okay,
Fine. We get it. That's cool, dude. Okay, let's get you somewhere that you fit. And maybe it's not with this organization, but we're going to find somebody else to fill this role then. Like, just be open. Just be open and say those things. Don't be afraid to ask those questions. Man, you said that and my head, like, you can't see inside like the cavernous hole in my brain here, but like it just was lighting up. I'm like, holy God, yes. Ask. Please do that.
I should have asked more questions before agreeing to do this podcast.
You know, Patrick.
I don't know if this is for you. Maybe this. We have a face for podcasting. That's all I know.
Yep. Face made for radio, podcasting, and nobody's eyes. Yes. Well, Patrick.
Yes.
Do you know who is a thought leader I will always connect with on LinkedIn?
Spinneruski.
The Spinneruski! Wow. Anyway. You are right, Mr. Patrick. It is indeed the Spinneruski. And while Mr. Patrick fires up that wheel, this is a reminder for all of our listeners out there. Each episode, we spin the Spinneruski, a wheel of names that might belong to a woman who so generously shoved Mr. Patrick and I into the ugly club all those years ago. And the goal of this, of course, is to eventually land on her name so we can thank her properly. All right, Mr. Patrick, we ready to rumble? We ready to spin that Rooski?
Yep, just warming up my
arm. Yeah, warm that up. Yes. Warm up your arm. Make sure you have the gloves on. We don't need any splinters.
Nope. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Spin that Rooski.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Cleo.
Like Miss Cleo? I bet she knew we were going to call her name today.
I think so.
Oh my gosh.
She's still alive? I don't think so.
Is Cleo? I don't know. I think she might be in prison. Anyway, Cleo. Wow. Cleo. Thank you so much for everything that you have given us and for all of the prophecies you have helped. You've shined lights on. For some of our younger listeners, I am referencing a person named Miss Cleo, who was a fortune teller that you could pay like $5 a minute by calling a 1-900 number. And I know, shockingly, it was a scam. I know, folks, crazy. But I have a feeling Miss Cleo was not the one that was at Boomers that night. But it could have been a Cleo. And if it was a Cleo, thank you, Cleo. You are forever in our debt.
And Miss Cleo passed away in 2016. So,
or I said that incorrectly. We are forever indebted to you. That's what I meant to say. But she passed away in 2016. I bet she didn't see that coming. Oh, God! Wow. All right. Well, I don't even feel good about that one. No. All right. Let's continue forward here. Yeah.
Oh man.
You want to do some shout outs?
My shout out goes to Miss Cleo. No. My shout out this week, Steve, is to Sir David Attenborough, who turns 100 on May 8th, tomorrow.
No way!
As of recording.
What?
When this comes out, everyone, it'll be past his birthday, but he turns 100 on May 8th.
Holy jeez, okay.
He has lived an incredible life, and he's one of my nature guy heroes. Such a legend. Yeah. The first time I saw Planet Earth was such a game changer for me, and I really love his work. I started paying more attention to the world around us after seeing some of his documentaries. So I want to say happy birthday, Sir David, if you somehow are listening to Grossly Competent.
I don't even think it's a question. He is clearly listening to us. He is clearly listening. Well, I have a two-parter for my shout outs.
Okay.
So, Sir David Attenborough, happy birthday. And I would also like to add that it is my son's birthday tomorrow.
Oh.
And he turns 1/10 of Sir David Attenborough's age. So he is officially double digits. He will be
Very
tomorrow.
cool.
So by the time you're listening, he will be a 10-year-old. So happy birthday, Huckster, and you know I love you. My other shout out, my more professional shout out, goes out to Spencer Jones. He is the founder of Jones and Four, which I just love that name. I thought that was awesome. So cool. I mentioned yesterday, that I went to this conference sponsored by the Mental Health America Lakeshore organization. And it was awesome. And I happened to meet him at like our little luncheon hour, and he came, sat right next to me, and he's like, "Hey, let's just chat." And sure enough, we did. We were supposed to meet new people and talk during our lunch hour or whatever. And what a fascinating guy. So like we had a really great talk, and I just have to say that between Spencer in this case, or Sarah Valentine, who we had on a couple of episodes ago, or if it's Linnell or Jess, or like Jen Marr, who we talked about last week, like there's all these people that I feel like when you talk to them, it just makes you want to be the best version of yourself that you can, right? Like they have this uplifting quality to them. So that's why I want to call out Spencer. He was a great guy, a really fun conversationalist. So, folks, do yourself a favor. You got to go check him out. His website is We Are Jones in Four, and I'll put it in the show notes. It's We Are Jones in Four, FOR.com. So give him a little look-see. But awesome dude, really awesome dude.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Said. Well done.
Well, do you have anything else you want to add before we adjourn, good sir?
No, I'm going to go post on LinkedIn about how recording this episode reminded me of B2B sales.
Yeah. That sounds good. Sounds good. If you end up with one less connection, just saying. Yeah, next time on Grossly Competent, we're going to talk about how to delete your LinkedIn. No, I'm kidding. I would never know.
Your solo host, Steve Council.
So I just as an aside, I don't think we're ever going to be sponsored by LinkedIn, but boy, we've tried. We've really, really tried. Wink. No. All right, guys, that's it for this episode. You uggos out there. Thanks again for coming along on this adventure, and we will suppose we'll see you next time, hey?
You got it.
Ugly. Out.
We got that last part pretty good.
That was pretty good. Yeah.
God,
like, man, I felt like you were staring into my eyes, which is interesting because when I look, so the camera is here, right? I'm poking at it right now. But in order for me to look at you, you're on the right-hand side of my screen. So I have you. So that if it ever looks like I'm not making eye contact, I'm actually making eye contact with you in the camera. But shoot, I forgot what I was going to tell you though. It was, I learned something and
how did it feel?
It was great. I feel like a new person
and I feel like I've achieved something I never have in my life. No,
first timer here.
First time learner, long time non-learner. Learner.